Spurs fans, we need more players. What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Well, it's already time to do another updated current roster starting lineup depth chart of the Spurs. Made a lot of moves this week in trading DeJounte Murray, Jock Landale, which very disrespectful to Jock Landale to have that news come the next day. And then also Lonnie Walker doesn't get traded, but he signs with the Lakers. And I enjoy doing these type of videos and looking at the depth chart. You guys seem to enjoy them too, so drop a comment down below. Where do you think our roster is going at this point? Hit that thumbs up, support the channel, and subscribe for more Spurs content. So let's get into it. The Spurs now sit at 13 players. That's right, 13. 11 of them being on guaranteed deals, while Trey Jones and KBD are non-guaranteed. I do think the Spurs will re-sign Trey or let his contract go to. I think it becomes automatic at some point this year. That being said, I think Trey Jones and KBD will be Spurs next year because we have the room for them. That leaves 2 regular contract spots open. We have 15 roster spots and 2 two-way contracts. Now, one of those is taken. Dominic Barlow, a 6'9" power forward. I presume he's going to spend a lot of time in the G League to start, but we have roster spots. Now, also doing some research, the Spurs have anywhere from $20 million to $39 million in cap space. That's still being figured out, I guess, with DeJounte and the Danilo Gallery. I can never say his name. Let's take a look at the depth chart. Right now, as it stands, the starting lineup is Joshua Primo, Keldon Johnson, Jakob Poeltl, Doug McDermott, and Devin Vassell. If they're all here next season, I could see that being the starting lineup. But what's really interesting, what I want to do this video, Spurs fans, is our rookies, our draft picks. Look where they are in the depth chart. Malachi Branham is right there behind Keldon Johnson. Jeremy, you don't mess with the Sohan, right there behind Doug McDermott. And I'm thinking to myself, I know we're used to our draft picks regularly going to the G League to play with Austin. We might not have the bodies to do that. I mean, yes, we're going to have a full roster when the season starts, but maybe Pop in the front office will say, you know what? We got these backup veterans, whoever they sign, that are in their 5th, 6th year in the league. We know what we got with them. Let's put out our rookies. Just totally change up the San Antonio Spurs narrative, which they've been doing with all the trades they've made this year. So I could see Malachi and Jeremy getting legit playing time immediately. And heck, Blake Wesley, who knows, might be seeing a little garbage time at the end of the games. But the other thing that's noted here is as of Friday morning, it's now Saturday morning, there are several still notable names that haven't signed contracts yet in free agency, including DeAndre Ayton and Colin Sexton. With the Spurs having anywhere between $20 million and $30 million in cap, my question is, what are we doing with all that? Are we just going to sit on a little nest egg? If we extend players now, does that even go towards that? I don't know. And when I look at DeAndre Ayton and Colin Sexton, both good players. Colin's a legit scorer, shooting guard that we certainly could use. And then Devin Vassell's not starting. So I don't think the Spurs make a play on him. And then DeAndre Ayton, the only way I see him coming to the Spurs is we do a sign and trade with Jakob Poeltl. And is it that much of an upgrade to go from Jakob Poeltl, who's making $9 million a year, to DeAndre Ayton, who's going to be making, $32 or $33 million a year? I don't think so. Not to mention the fact Jakob Poeltl has been very steady injury-wise. He's been dinged up here and there, but nothing severe. With DeAndre Ayton, looks like he's been dinged up quite a bit. And Colin Sexton, of course, missed a significant amount of time last year. Was it a torn ACL? I know it was a season-ending injury. I just don't remember what specifically. Romeo Langford is on the depth chart still. Is he going to be on the roster when the season starts? If so, will he stay healthy? Not to mention the fact Josh Richardson and Doug McDermott, could they be traded? There's so many questions with this roster right now. Probably more questions that I've ever had doing these type of videos in different seasons of the past. Not to mention, we only have 2 centers, and one of them, I was talking about injury history just a moment ago, has a very long, extensive injury history with Zach Collins. If he goes down, are we going uber small ball lineup? And is Jeremy, you don't mess with the Sohan, immediately going to be just thrust in there and be like, hey, man, you're what, 6'9", 6'10", you're our center. Is KBD going to play center? Are we going to... Man, I don't know, Spurs fans. It's so up in the air what's going to happen with our team. What is the plan? And the plan, from what I'm reading from you guys, is tank for Wanayo Mama. I did a little research on him. I'll probably do an actual video on him soon. It looks like the potential is off the charts. A little bit of injury history with him as well. That could be a concern, especially with a player his size. I saw a picture of him. He's listed at, 7'2", but the picture he was in looked like he was more like 7'4", 7'5". When you get to players that size, injuries are a major concern. Yao Ming was an extremely talented basketball player ages ago. He's already in the Hall of Fame, but injuries absolutely derailed his career. So the bigger the player gets, the taller they get, especially those thin, tall guys, injuries generally come along with that package. So a quick video today. I just want to update the depth chart, and as I just, in closing, look at it, I don't think this will be the starting lineup next year at all. Joshua Primo, yes. Kelvin Johnson, I can't. I know I did a video about who's next, and I put him up there as a player that could possibly move. In my heart, I don't see that happening. And my mind's now saying, you know what? The Spurs have invested too much in him, and I think Pop and the Spurs like him too much to move on from him, yet at least. So I think he'll be there. Jakob Poeltl is a question mark. Do we have any other option right now? And he's going to really help develop the pick and roll. Jakob was great with the pick and roll with DeJounte last year. So if Josh Primo is going to be our point guard, that's a good player to be practicing with. Practice? Yeah, we talk about practice. Doug McDermott, huge question mark. I don't know if he's going to be a Spur next year. He's not on a team-friendly contract, making about $13.5 million a year. I like Doug. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't like him as our starting four. I like him off the bench, giving us firepower. I can't see the Spurs starting Jeremy, especially now that his progress is already getting derailed. If you weren't aware, he's down with the sickness, the 1-9, and he's going to be missing some time, and he's going to miss the opening of Summer League. However, if he impresses when he does get to play, and in preseason, if he's playing great, I could see the Spurs making the swap and planning for the future instead of starting a player that's over 30 years old like Doug McDermott, switching to the 19-year-old and Jeremy Sochan. So that, I think, could get flip-flopped. And Devin Vassell, I think he's going to be our starting shooting guard. And then we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens this summer. I plan on making a lot of content over the next few days. I'm off tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday for the holidays, so it's going to be a lot of fun. A little busy today, but over the next few days, I hope to get more Spurs videos up. I'm going to explore Filipino basketball a little bit. I cover Kai Soto, but I'd like to learn about other players and prospects and see what's going on. And then obviously the video about Wanyamama, because I'm very intrigued to see some of his highlights and whatnot. So Spurs fans, that's all I got. I have a feeling I'll be doing another one of those, another one of these in a week or two, and I just appreciate all your support. I know it's going to be tough with the changes that the team is going through, but I think a lot of us now that the smoke has, the dust is settled and the smoke is cleared, we're stepping back and saying, okay, still not sure on this Brian Wright guy. He's not R.C. Buford, but he's making moves, he's making trades, he's going young, and I think the team is headed in the right direction. And what I've seen, actually, let me close with this because I forgot to mention this. Seeing the reports in the news that DeJounte Murray didn't want to be here, he just didn't. I feel a lot better about the trade. Had that come out before we made the trade, that significantly decreases his trade value. If it came out before that he wasn't going to extend his contract, he didn't want to be here, Spurs fans, be thankful we got what we did. I know a lot of us wanted more, but we really could have gotten a lot less. And actually, let me close with this too. It's not Spurs related, but what are the Minnesota Timberwolves doing? They just gave up the farm. They gave up so many draft picks and part of their future to try to do Twin Towers 2.0, which is why it's in my head and is somewhat Spurs related. Look, David Robinson, Tim Duncan, Hall of Famers, a great Twin Tower lineup. That being said, Rudy Gobert, and Cat are great players themselves, but it's not the late 90s and early 2000s. Basketball has changed significantly. While I haven't watched the Utah Jazz much this year, except when we played the Spurs, I've heard in late game situations, because the other team was going small ball, they had to pull Rudy out sometimes. I don't think the Twin Tower thing works in 2022 to 2023. So I think that was a bad move. If you want to drop a comment down below about that trade, let me know below. But I think the Timberwolves gave up way too much. And will they be better? Probably. But against teams like the Warriors that are just, doing that, how are they going to cover their three-point shooters? I'm picking rolls and switches. I think that was a bad move, and I don't think it's going to work. Best of luck to them. If Twin Towers modern day works for them, great. But basketball has changed a ton since David Robinson and Tim Duncan were teammates. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Until next time, and as always, go Spurs, go!